Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to the first part, or part one, I like to call, of part two of the patch notes for patch 1.4.65, theoretically the Community Warfare Faction Play, Phase 3, part one of the patch review. So this is where we're going to break down the patch for specifically the Community Warfare stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about today are the careers. So there's 3 careers now in the game. Prior to this, there was just loyalists who basically had a permanent contract, or people that wanted to be on a timed contract, basically a limited time contract. Now there's basically 3 different types. We got the freelancer, the mercenary, and the loyalist. The way I've pretty much worked this out is it's basically comes down to the reward system and your abilities and what you can and cannot do. So with that in mind, let's talk about the freelancer. So basically, first and foremost, the freelancer can only get into a community warfare match as long as there's a call to arms. They're not bound by any contracts. They're not bound by any loyalty. They're not bound by anything, other than the fact that when there's a pop up in the bottom right corner down here saying, hey, there's an attack on Planet Potato. Come help. Attackers at Planet Potato need help, or defenders at Planet Potato need help. They click that, they go. The catch-22 is you only get C-bills and XP. That's it. Nothing else. You literally just get money and experience. That's all. Nothing fancy. Nothing too crazy. So, as I said, the only way to get into a battle is the urgent call to arms system. So it's kind of crappy, but there you go. Now, basically, when a freelancer can be in one of 2 groups, they can be a unit or non-unit. If they create a unit for themselves, they're going to be bumped into the mercenary group. If they do not have a unit, if it's just you all by yourself, no faction, no nothing, just you're technically a freelancer. And that's it. Basically, the lone wolves of the Inner Sphere is what they're being nicknamed. So, think about the freelancer. No loyalties. No responsibility. No unit, no faction. You only get C-bill rewards, and you only get XP rewards. That is it. If you create a unit for yourself, you then get bumped into the mercenary group, which we're going to talk about next. So mercenary groups are basically just existing units that are all set up right now. Everyone's going to be starting in the mercenary section, just to kind of start the ball rolling, and then unit leaders get the pick and all that stuff. Basically, mercenaries are almost the same, or to a point, as loyalty members, except they have their own little system. So loyalty players have the loyalty points. In the mercenary units, they've got C-bills, XP, and mercenary reputation points. So they get that little extra stuff. Now, you can't vote. That's kind of the way it is. But in my eyes, this is a good group. It'll be fun. Basically, the mercenaries are those people that want money, want XP, and want those mercenary points. And now, when you actually look at the mercenary points, this is actually how it works out. Here's the ranks. So there's only 10 ranks. In rank 1, you get 75,000 C-bills and a mech bay. Yeah. Rank 2, 150,000 C-bills and 7 days of premium time. That's more C-bills and a mech bay, more C-bills, a dog item, more C-bills, a mech bay, more C-bills, MC, more C-bills. And that's the thing right there. You get lots of C-bills. Contracts with them are a maximum of 7 days, from what it looks like. It's pretty much the way non-permanent contracts worked. Which is pretty good. Now, here's the thing about mercenaries. So, there's contract bonuses in relation to faction population. So, for example, I'm going to click this picture here. Oh, did I just... Okay, good. We're going to right-click and actually put this in a new window. So, what you're looking at right here is the contract screen. So, if it's red, that means that the majority or a lot of the population is currently playing a specific house. So that house is not going to be wanting to basically pay a lot of people. It's like having a job, right? The more people applying for a job, the less the company is willing to pay. The least amount of people applying for a job, the company's going to end up paying a little bit more to kind of incentivize people, right? So for example, right now, if you were to pick House Davian, you're going to get a minus 50% to your bonus, because 36% of the population is currently playing House Davian. So it shows you down here, the base payout is 250 for everybody, but right now they're at minus 50%. So you're only going to get paid 125 per victory on invasion missions. Scouting missions were 25,000, but they've been reduced to 12,500 because it's halved. I like this. It basically makes people play for smaller populated groups. Now, as I said, the contracts are a little different. Contracts can be changed to like 7-day contracts. So you don't have to worry about having a permanent contract with anybody. It's okay, so for the next 7 days, I'm going to pick the Razzlehag Republic. It's only 3% of the population. It's 50% bonus. So we're actually going to get that extra 125. So we're actually going to be looking at 375,000 for a win, and 75,000 for a win in scouting. So, which is pretty good, right? They didn't say whether it goes up higher than that or lower than that. Basically, what they have said is, if, for example, I look at Razzlehag and go, okay, so it's plus 50, and I'm going to take a contract with them for a week. Take the contract with them for a week. Now, if a lot of people see that and switch over when their contracts end, like say a whole bunch of people's contracts end tomorrow, I'm on the day before, I'm on today being Tuesday, but yesterday was Monday, and yesterday I saw this and picked the Razzlehag Republic. Now, for me, it's locked in. I'm locked in at 50 plus. Tomorrow, or the next day, that everyone else sees that, oh shit, Razzlehag's giving that 50% bonus. Switch over to Razzlehag when their contract's out for the mercenaries. After a certain point, it will say, hey, you don't get that 50% anymore. People are going to be told, hey, it's now minus 50 or just even. Best part is, whatever you agree to on this page is stuck with you for that 7-day grace period, no matter what. So before, right, when there was a low population for a group, they would temporarily boost bonuses up for that unit, and then they would take it down after like a week or whatever, and you'd lose it. Now, when you basically get locked in. So right now, if we agreed with the Razzlehag at 3% of the population at plus 50, we're good for our 7 days at plus 50. If in that same 7-day grace period, 60%, 40%, 30%, whatever, move over to the Razzlehag, and it gets to that minus 50, we don't get penalized for it, which is pretty good. So we keep our bonuses that you sign up to, which is pretty good. At any moment, a mercenary group can pledge loyalty to a faction, and they are not penalized, which is pretty good in my eyes. Now, when we get into the Loyalists, there is a couple things I don't like, especially since the patch is being put live today. That's one of the things I've got a problem with for the Loyalists. So, the problem I have with the Loyalists, well, we'll get into. So, Loyalists. Basically, the people that have pledged allegiance to one specific faction and one faction only. They have obviously additional rewards associated with all these things, which we'll get into momentarily. So, first and foremost, the Loyalists and the unit system. So, Loyalists have to be in a unit. That's the catch-22. There are solo Loyalists. It's basically just you by yourself in your own unit. No big deal. Loyalists have the ability to are part of the war plan system, where they vote on who they want to attack, and they are the ones that can do planetary reinforcement. So now here's the catch-22s with them. First part, probationary period. So for your first 10 matches, you're on probation. You can't do anything. You don't earn anything other than C-bills and XP. So you're almost like a freelancer. It's basically them saying, okay, if you're loyalists, prove it. So you have 10 days where you're not making anything other than C-bills and XP. The next part. So payouts and rewards. So initially, after you've done that grace period, you get C-bills, XP, and loyalty points. Kind of like how you do now. There's additional mission payouts for additional C-bills and additional loyalty points. And that's overall the rank up as you do now. So the faction loyalty points pretty much are how they are now. With the way it is, there's 20 ranks in total out of 20. Every rank is going to be actually named just as it is now. So this is pretty much the exact same as it was before, which is pretty good, right? I like it. War planning. So war planning is basically the ability every 24 hours, you as a loyalist get to vote on who you're going to attack. And we're going to get into that part right now. So, war planning. War planning allows loyalist poets to cast their vote to determine who their opponent's going to be for the next 24 hours. Basically, there's an auto cycle that's built into it. So, for the moment, if you're on probation, so if you just switch over as a loyalist, you do not have that ability. You don't get it. There's a couple auto parts to the voting system. The first part is if you're currently at war with someone, they automatically get 5 votes. Or 4 votes. If they're currently the target, like we basically just pick them as a target, like say we just pick Ghost Bear as a target, it'll automatically say, no, they got 5 votes because they were the last target. But we have perpetual war with a bunch of groups, right? So pretty much almost all the clans, if you're in the FRR, for example, you're at war with automatically because it's the invasion, right? So it'll tell you that, you're technically at war with them, so they'll all get automatically 4 votes. If they're a hostile group towards you, and that's like via lore, normally hostile with you, you get 3 votes. If they're classified as rivals, they get 2 votes. If they're usually neutral, they get an automatic 1 vote against them. And if they're classified as a traditional ally, or that's lore-wise, they have 0 votes against them. So we're going to look at the picture here, and I'm going to show you what it means. So basically, this is the vote screen. Click who you're going to vote for, and then you click vote to attack. Now, or you hit to click declare hostility. Still got to figure that one out. Overall, it gives you your information up here. So this guy is playing as Davian. Davian is 519 planets. So here's the information here. Right now, they're traditionally at war with Smoke Jaguar. Okay. Traditionally, Marek has been hostile towards Davian. Traditionally, Lao is hostile towards Davian. Steiner and Razzlehag is traditionally neutral towards them, no votes. And then Steiner is traditionally an ally, so no votes. Over here on the other side is the clanners, and it just shows traditionally at war, traditional art, currently at target 45%. So when you look at this information here, it breaks down and gets communicated in this way. So the current target is going to be the priority, so it's going to force you to keep going down that path, unless people vote out and go, okay, you know what? It's official on the forums, hey, everybody vote for the following group, because we are not fighting them. So if you look down here, multiple different factions still do have multiple different fight locations. Like Davian here, we are currently fighting Marek, and they are currently fighting Karita here. So they've got 2 attack points from what I can see. But if you also look at it, Razzlehag's got 3. So that kind of tells you right there as to what's, the whole thing where they said, you can have up to X amount, basically. It still looks like for most you're going to have at least a few, which I like. Which I like. You're going to have more options. So then what will happen is every 24 hours you get this little screen every time you go in, and you can vote on, who you're going to attack, which I really, really like. We're going to scroll back up here to where we were before. Lists. Payouts. Now there is a desertion. That's basically where you leave and quit the unit or the group, basically breaking your oath of loyalty. It's for a 7-day period. You'll be marked as a deserter, basically. You remain under the banner for that unit, but it takes 7 days basically to break it. You lose 25% of your loyalty points that you've accumulated with the faction, and you lose 25% of your C-bill earnings for missions. If you decide to pledge your loyalty in the faction again, so say you go from Razzlehag to just a mercenary, and you play as a mercenary for like 6 or 7 months, and then switch back to Razzlehag, you actually will start with your rank progression where you left off 25%. After the 25% reduction. Now, mind you, here is the catch-22. it will still show you the initial rank that you hit. So you're gonna kind of crawl yourself back up. That 25% hit could be pretty bad if you're at the higher levels of it. So overall, the faction play queue system, which we're going to get into in the next episode. So until then, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.